Hi, everyone. This is Karina Gonzalez at Cigna. I am the broker manager for O'Neill Marketing. So thanks so much for joining today. I love working with the guys at O'Neill. They're smart guys because they love that Cigna dental plan. Actually, our dental plan is really popular. If you haven't already started selling Cigna dental, you definitely should take a look and make sure you pay attention to today's webinar because we have over 500,000 members on these 3 dental plans, not on our commercial dental plans or group dental plans, not on the Medicare dental. This is specifically to the standalone dental product. And I think the reason that is that you can sell this dental plan to anyone. You can sell it to grandma and grandpa, you can sell it to the kids, and you can sell it to mom and dad. It really fits for everybody's needs. Next slide. So today we're going to be talking about Cigna Dental. And can you give me one more slide? We're going to go into the agenda. So first of all, we're going to talk about why you're going to want to sell Cigna Dental. And we're going to talk about, next slide. We're going to talk about why you're going to choose Cigna Dental as the customer, as the broker. We're going to get into where we sell Cigna Dental. We're going to talk about the plan designs. We're going to talk about frequency and limitations for those that are already selling dental and really want to get into the nitty gritty. We're going to get into added benefits that only Cigna has for our dental members. And then last but not least is going to be terminology and frequently asked questions. That's perfect for someone who's just getting into the dental space, learning about dental, trying to get your feet wet. These are going to be some things that we talk about today. So why choose Cigna Dental? So as a customer, one of the reasons that we see that people are choosing the Cigna Dental plan is going to be because we're an affordable plan in the PPO space. As a dental PPO, we're pretty competitive. We have a strong network. So on our preferred side of the PPO, we have over 93,000 dentists, which is pretty significant. It's a strong network compared to other dental PPOs because we truly have a really vast preferred side, and you always want your customers to be staying on that dental preferred side of the PPO if they can. And the reason is that they're going to be saving some money when they stay on that dental preferred side. And the last thing is going to be for the customer service and support experience that Cigna offers, not only on our dental product, but throughout all of our products, right? So 24/7 customer service line on our dental product, which is really unique. I don't think a lot of other carriers have that type of 24/7 service for their dental. The next thing is going to be the Brighter score, and I'm going to dive into that really specifically a little bit later. And the oral health integration program. This program actually just helped a broker that I was on the phone with recently who has rheumatoid arthritis. Because of this, they are subject to really high risk gum disease. This is going to cover her extra services that she needs at no cost to her. So this is an oral health integration program. We'll get into the details of that. Those are some of the reasons that our customers pick Cigna. The next slide is going to talk about why our brokers pick Cigna. Next slide. There we go. Sorry, there's a little bit of a lag here. We're having some technical difficulties. Okay, so brokers, why are our brokers picking Cigna? So number one is because you can sell this policy within 10 minutes, super fast. You can sell it in all 50 states. So if you're trying to build a book of business outside of your home state, this is a great product, right? A great opener because it's inexpensive. And it's sold, it's auto issued within 24 hours. So you can sell this plan. It's going to be issued within 24 hours the very next day. So if I sell it on October 31st, November 1st is going to be that client's effective date. You can sell this and you can push out quotes to your customers directly from Cigna for Brokerage, your broker portal. If you're already selling ACA medical, that means you're already appointed to sell this Cigna dental product. Again, if you're already appointed for Cigna ACA, you are good to sell Cigna dental. The next thing is going to be availability. So this dental product, like I mentioned, is in all 50 states plus DC. So you're going to be able to sell this product nationwide. Great if you're developing a book of business outside of the outside of your home state. And like I said, it's a very vast network, over 93,000 dentists on the preferred side. So diving into the products. So the first thing we're going to touch on is going to be the products that we offer for the dental plans. We offer 3 simple plans. I'm going to dive into the weeds of these plans in a second, but as an overview, these are the 3 plans. These are their names. So we have the dental preventative, the dental 1000, and the dental 1500. The preventative plan averages at less than $20 a month. It's perfect for someone who's just starting off with a dental plan, someone that's basically just looking for cleanings, not looking for class 2, class 3 services. Our most popular plan is going to be the dental 1000. That plan is at about an average of $30 a month. And that plan has $1,000 calendar year max. So it's 1,000 of calendar year max. Now you look at the 1500, so it's a 1500 calendar year max towards your client's dental services. The big difference between the dental 1500 and the 1000 is that the 1500 has $1,000 lifetime orthodontia benefit. So that means if your client is looking for braces, whether they're an adult or a child, doesn't matter. We provide $1,000 benefits toward their braces and towards Invisalign, which I think is really cool, especially for adults that are looking to get braces. We do provide a benefit, and that's only on the dental 1500 plan. Next slide. So on the dental 1500, just getting into the weeds here, you can see that there are waiting periods for class 2 and class 3. However, those waiting periods can be waived if your client has 12 months of continued coverage. So basically saying, let's say your client is on a Humana dental plan right now, or they're on some other dental plan, whatever dental plan it is, even if it's an HMO, as long as it's not a discount plan, we will count that plan as long as it was a full year, not a discount plan. We can waive the waiting periods for class 2 and class 3 services. So this plan is pretty popular, not only because it's the highest calendar year max, but also, like I said, that orthodontia benefit. There is a separate lifetime there's a separate lifetime deductible and max towards the orthodontia benefit, and we'll get into that once I show you the plan, the really like the plan design, but this is just kind of a quick overlook. The next plan is going to be the 1000 plan. So the 1000 plan, like I said, is going to be the most popular plan. It has the same breakout on benefits within class 2 and class 3. So class 2 is covered at it's going to be an 80%, and then the next one will be covered at a 50% for class 3. The benefits are exactly the same, except obviously for the $500 difference on that calendar year max. And then last but not least, preventative plan. This, like I said, I think this is a great plan to sell when you're really trying to kind of open the door to someone who's kind of, I've never had a dental plan before, or they're in maintenance mode. So this is someone who's had a dental plan for a few years. They never get cavities. They're looking for a cheaper plan, but they don't want HMO cheap, right? They would still want to keep their dentist, but they're not looking to pay $30 a month. They'd want to save a little bit of money. The preventative plan may be good for them. This plan also will, so let's say your client has this dental preventative plan for 1 year, and then you're going to upgrade them after that year into the dental 1000 or 1500. This plan meets the requirements to waive the class 2 and class 3 waiting period. So if they had this plan for a year, upgraded to the 1500 plan or to the 1000 plan, they will not have waiting periods for class 2 and for class 3. Okay, and then next slide. So what is class 1, class 2, class 3? Well, class 1 is going to cover your preventative care. It's going to cover your oral exams, your routine cleanings, x-rays, your fluoride treatment when they give you the mouthwash. And then so that's going to be your basic. That's going to be covered on all of our plans. Class 2 and class 3 are only going to be offered in the 1000 and the 1500 plan. Class 2 you can think of as basic care, and class 3 you can think of as major dental care, like root canal therapy, wisdom tooth extractions, etc. And then class 4, last but not least, is only offered on the 1500 plan. So that's going to be, and that's going to be the orthodontia benefit. That's considered class 4. So just to kind of remind you, class 2 and 3 is going to be on the 1,000 and 1,500 plan, but the orthodontist is just on the 1,500. Next slide. So talking about our DPPO Advantage Network, when you're looking at networks and you're comparing networks, the network that you're looking at with a Cigna dental network is called the DPPO Advantage Network. As I mentioned, it's a really vast network, and I continue to say this, but when you compare this network to other dental PPOs, it tends to be stronger than other carriers' networks. There's no need with our network, with our DPPO Advantage Network, to submit any type of claims if you're using a DPPO Advantage dentist. There is no need to have a primary dentist to get to a specialist. There's no referrals needed. And there is no balance billing when you use the preferred dentist. Your clients can be balance billed when they go outside of the DPPO Advantage. When they use an out of network or out of preferred dentist, they can get balance billed. And then as I've mentioned, obviously, I think a lot of people know this. When you continue to stay on that preferred side of the network, you'll continue to save money on the services that you're getting. So your cavities might be filled for a cheaper cost. Root canal might be a little bit cheaper when you stay on the preferred side, because again, there's no balance billing when you stay on the DPPO Advantage Network. It's a huge network, so make sure that if your clients have never had a dentist before, try to guide them to a Cigna dentist so that way they can save some money and avoid that balance billing experience. Next slide is going to show you our provider lookup. So it's going to be cigna.com/IFP-providers. You're going to click on doctor by type. It'll say dentist, and from there you'll click on DPPO Advantage Network. From there, you can find all the dentists in the area based off of zip code, city, whatever you're looking at. You can search. And again, this is nationwide. So if you, for some reason, were traveling, let's say I live in Florida and I was going to Tennessee for a week, something happened, need to stop by and visit a dentist, I can use a dentist in Tennessee. It doesn't matter what state I'm in. As long as I have this DPPO plan, I can use this network any state. Next slide. So let's dive into the benefits. So the first plan that we're going to discuss is going to be the preventative plan. The preventative plan is going to only cover preventative care. I think it's a little easy to understand this one. So anything like cleanings, which is like, what people usually go for the dentist for, x-rays, the fluoride treatment, that's all going to be at $0 when you stay on the DPPO side. And then if you decided to go to an out of network or out of preferred dentist, you would pay the difference between the provider's standard fee and our customary coverage. So it's about 95% of the customary coverage is going to be covered. So if, let's say, a cleaning cost is going to be, the maximum that we'll accept charge is $100, and your dentist charged $110, the customer would be expected to pay for that extra $10, and it's at 95%. So it would actually be an extra $15 to the customer to go out of the DPPO network. Again, if you love your dentist, and I know that everybody has clients that love their dentist, your clients are like, I'm going to the dentist regardless, so it doesn't really matter. It's still a great benefit, right? Because the 95% is going to be covered of the customary. Now let's go into our next plan. So that's going to be the 1,000 plan, and that's the most popular plan that we sell. So again, this 1,000 plan, and I kind of shaved it so that way it would be a little bit easier to read. There is a 12-month waiting period for the Class 3 services. There's a 6-month waiting period for the Class 2 services. Both of these can be waived if the client has previous coverage for a full year. And as you can see, like I mentioned, the client is going to pay 20% of the contracted fee for a preferred dentist. And then for the Class 3, they'd pay 50% of the contracted fee. So let's say for bridges, the contracted fee is $100. Your client and they went to a Cigna dentist, they would pay $50 and we would pay $50 after deductible. The last thing is going to be the same thing. It's going to be taking a look at the individual calendar year deductible. So if it's just an individual on this plan, their deductible is going to be $50. If it's a family, it'll be $150. So family meaning if there's 4 people on the plan, the most it's going to cost is $150. If there's only 2 people on the plan, it's going to be $50 per person. So that'll be a $100 deductible. Basically meaning the deductible is never going to exceed $150. And then the calendar year max for each individual, that's an important piece of the puzzle for each individual. If you're new to dental, even if you're selling even if you're selling dental for the first time, the calendar year max is per person. So let's say, you have 3 kids. It's not $1,000 for all 3 kids. It's $1,000 per kid of services. And we're gonna go into the next slide, which is really gonna be, I'll talk about mainly the orthodontia benefit because that's the big differentiator. Oh, forgive me. This is gonna actually, I kind of reorganized everything, so I misspoke here. We're gonna look at the cost savings of staying on the DPPO side. So I'm gonna take a look at the crown benefit. That's a class 3 benefit, getting a crown fixed. So if I were to get a crown fixed with a DPPO Cigna dentist, it would cost me $357. Now, let's say I went to an out-of-network dentist. So based off of the cost share, it could be up to $903 because balance billing is an option, remember? Now, let's say you don't even have an insurance plan at all. This is a great talking point to your clients that don't have dental because they can visually see how much cost savings there is just for one service. Without dental insurance, a crown can be up to $1,200. So that's a huge cost savings. Almost, I think, 4 times you could say like a 400% cost savings from $357 to $1,202. Even staying within that DPPO Advantage Network creates almost a savings of $600 or $550. So that's huge, 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 huge. So it's really important if your clients don't have a huge tie to their dentist that they try to stay within that DPPO side because as you can see, there's just so much savings. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be the Dental 1500 plan. Now, this plan is really similar to the 1000 plan. It's the same cost share, right? It's 20% and 50%, same deductible, 50 and 150. There is an orthodontia deductible. So you have to hit $50 towards your orthodontia deductible. So you pay the first $50 towards your braces to use that benefit. The other piece of the puzzle is that we offer that $1,000 per person. So if you have 3 kids, it would be $1,000 per kid. But you have to have the plan for a full year, and this is not a waiting period that you can really waive. I think there is a few states that don't allow waiting periods. If I'm not mistaken, it's Rhode Island. But if you don't live in Rhode Island, there's really no way to get around the braces waiting period. There's a 1-year waiting period for the braces, but it's so worth it, and I'll show you why in just a second. And as a reminder, Class 2, Class 3 waiting periods are at 6 months and 12 months. But if your client is coming from a different dental plan, whether it's a group plan, like I said, a Medicare plan, an HMO plan, any plan works as long as it's not a discount plan, we can waive the waiting period. And I think that's another reason why our plans are just so popular because not a lot of carriers allow you to waive these waiting periods. So I think that that's kind of unique. Okay, so let's look at the cost comparison. So the next slide is going to show you for braces how much it would be with a Cigna DPPO orthodontist, with an out-of-network orthodontist, and without dental insurance. So as you can see, with the Cigna DPPO specialist, it's going to cost about $3,000 to get your braces done. And this also works for Invisalign. So the benefits align the same way. If you choose braces or Invisalign, either way it works. Next slide. Now, when you look at the out-of-network benefit, you'll see that it's at I think you skipped one too many. It should be the comparison slide. And so if it goes from $3,155 for braces within the DPPO network, then it goes to $4,773 with a different type of specialist but you still have the Cigna plan. So it's really, if you wanted to go to a different orthodontist, it would cost you just about $1,500 extra. If you didn't have Cigna's dental plan, Cigna's 1500 plan, it would almost double. So you can see there that it's $6,435 to get braces without the dental plan. So huge cost savings. If your clients have kids, look at this 1500 plan because there's definitely benefits. Like I said, the waiting period is a year to access the braces benefit, but it's definitely worth it if you're saving $3 grand. $3 grand plus actually. Okay, next slide. Now, this is just going to be a quick overlook. Again, it's just 3 plans. It's really simple, but I really want you all to have a really good sense after you leave this meeting what we're offering and what our plans look like. So this is just the plan comparison side by side. Like I said, the 1000 plan is the most popular plan, but I think that the 1500 plan this year it's actually been sold more because it's the higher calendar year max. Next slide. So now we're going to talk about frequency limitations. So frequency limitations on a few different benefits. I'm not going to get into the weeds here. Oral exam and routine cleaning, you get one every 6 months. So twice a year you get a cleaning. Class 2 benefit here for the periodontal maintenance. It's only every 6 months since the completion of the last one that you had. Now for the deep cleaning, you get one per quadrant every 36 months. So that's going to be every 3 years you get a deep cleaning. Most people do all quadrants at once, so you don't have to wait per quadrant. It's just your whole mouth can get it done. Your whole mouth can get a deep cleaning every 3 years, basically, is what that's saying. Now, the fillings is one per tooth per every other year. Now, this is per tooth, right? So if you had four teeth that needed a filling, you could get them all done. It's just that and then the benefit you would get the benefit again after another year. So every other year you could get the same tooth filled. It's not saying one tooth every other year, just to be super clear. Next is going to be wisdom tooth extraction. So wisdom tooth extraction includes allowance for anesthesia and the post-op care, not the extraction. We include dentures and partials, one per arch every 84 months, so that's 7 years. Crowns, one per tooth. Again, it's a per tooth on a crown, so one for every 7 years, but you can have 5 teeth that need it, right? Pre-existing condition limitation for the missing tooth. So no coverage is going to be provided if you join this plan and you already had a missing tooth. If you had a missing tooth after you elected for coverage, then yes, it will be covered. There are some exceptions in Florida, Maryland, New York, Ohio, Vermont, and Virginia. The limitation does not apply after 12 months of continuous coverage. So after 1 year, that's when the limitation does not apply. In New Mexico, it's a 6 month. So thank you to all those states for being really specific in their dental law. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the dental plans. Like, as a reminder, why are you going to sell these plans? So you can always check out the summary of benefits for the frequency and limitations. If you have questions on it, you could also reach out. You could take a look at the evidence of coverage. Any in-network or out-of-network calculations need to be applied to the deductible, right? So don't forget that you got to hit that deductible before any of those benefits kick in. These are just some commonly asked questions and additional notes. And like I said, stay in the network. Tell your clients to stay in the network. It's always more cost effective when they pick a Cigna PPO Advantage provider because they cannot get balance billed. And whether the customer is staying in network or out of network, again, deductible applies, co-insurance is going to then kick in afterwards. And then, as I've mentioned again, frequency and limitations on the state basis. So every state does have like some different little nuances. So we oblige to whatever the state law orders. So if you have questions on, hey, why is the waiting period less here and more in this state, it's generally because it's a state mandate. The next slide is going to talk about our waiting period. So like I mentioned, there are nuances in certain states. There are no waiting periods for preventative care services on all of our plans. So that's really important. If your client is looking to get a cleaning done, they haven't had a cleaning in years, they can get that done the very next day after effectuating their plan. Waiting periods are not waived for orthodontic coverage except in Rhode Island, like I mentioned earlier. And waiting periods, again, are only waived if for class 2 and class 3, the client has had a dental insurance plan for a full year. They have 63 days from that termination. There is some nuances in quite a few states, like I had mentioned. You can see that in Illinois, New Jersey, Vermont, New Mexico, 6 months waiting period for both class 2 and class 3, which is really awesome. So class 2 and class 3 normally have a 6 to 12 months. It's only going to be 6 months. In West Virginia, the waiting period is going to be 3 months for both class 2 and class 3. Rhode Island, there are no waiting periods. And then another call out I want to make sure that everybody knows here is that the out-of-network reimbursements in North Carolina are not the 180 and 50. It is a little bit different. You can see there it's going to be the customers pay 5%, 25%, and 55%, and 100% for class 4. So you can take a look there at the difference in North Carolina specifically for out-of-network dentists. So if they stay on the DPPO Advantage side, they have a huge significant savings. Make sure in North Carolina, if you can, guide your folks to stay on the DPPO side of the Advantage Network. And like I said, it's a really strong network, so it shouldn't be too hard to find them an in-network dentist on the preferred side of the PPO. In Arkansas and Massachusetts, when folks are going out of network, they can use the maximum reimbursable charge, which is like usual or customary. And if they do not use the maximum charge, allowable charge in the area. So basically, if a customer is going to go out of network, Cigna is going to reimburse based on the maximum they would allow for that charge. So we're going to just really reimburse if it's $100 that we allow for a cavity and a filling, and you get charged $120, it's going to cost the customer an extra $20. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's move on to the extra services that we do to keep your customers smiling. So one thing that we do, not only on the dental side, but on the medical side too, is that we offer the Healthy Rewards program. I personally, as a Cigna employee, have access to this program, and it's really cool. I get discounts on lots of different things. If I wanted to get LASIK, my eyes are so bad, so I can't, but I wish I could. I would get a discount through the Healthy Rewards program at Cigna. You can get a discount on a Garmin wearable if your clients are looking to start tracking their steps. So it's not even just dental discounts. It's really, everything. You get discounts on yoga mats. You can get discounts on hearing exams and hearing aids, and save up to 40% on those exams, like through some of the partners that we've been able to negotiate extra discounts just for our clients. And last but not least is going to be the discount program within the gym membership. So we offer the Healthy, Active, and Fit Direct. You can choose from 9,000 different gyms. I think LA Fitness, 24-Hour Fitness. There's a lot of different huge chains that participate in the Active and Fit. And it will reduce the rate for you for that gym membership. I think it drops it down to like $25 when normally things can be up to like $50 or something like that. Now, the next thing we're going to see is going to be the oral health integration program. Now, this is truly an extra benefit that is unique to Cigna. We provide a program for people with certain medical conditions that maybe impact their gums. So how I would explain it is if you had rheumatoid arthritis, if you had heart disease, if you had kidney disease, diabetes, those types of diseases and conditions are going to create things that maybe cause tooth decay or cause gum disease. So for people that have these conditions, they usually have to do extra dental care. And that can be really expensive if you have to regularly get, 4 times a year a periodontal cleaning, like a deep cleaning, to prevent, gum disease from starting. We cover those extra services at no cost to the member with the oral health integration program. So the client does have to apply to the OHIP program. They can apply through their My Cigna website. If you have questions, I can send you some instructions on how to sign up. As it depends on, obviously, if you qualify, depending on the condition your client has, but they will get reimbursed for those extra services. And I know that it saves people a lot of money because usually cleanings are only covered, like, twice a year. If you need it more because you have a certain condition that, really is making you go to the dentist more, we're going to cover that for our members. This is really nice. I think it's a really important way to integrate your medical care with your oral health because both do affect the other. And it's really important that we make sure that we keep your clients happy and healthy. And, programs like this help us do that in an affordable way. The next thing we're going to talk about is the online dental tools. So you may already know about MyCigna. MyCigna is our medical app, is our app for not only our dental members, but also for the medical members. And this is something that you can use to not only find dentists that are on the preferred side of the DPPO Advantage Network, it's so you can use our Brighter Score feature. Now, this is something that no other carrier has, and I can't talk about it enough. So on the next slide, if you take a look, it'll show you what the Brighter Score program actually is going to look like when you use it. So it looks like the circles kind of changed with the formatting. So I apologize, but really it's trying to highlight the score of these dentists. So you can go online and shop. Your client can go online and basically shop for a dentist, especially if they're new to dental care. They don't have a dentist. They're looking for a good one. They can take a look and see that Dr. James Roberts has a 10 out of 10 for professional history. You can see they have a 9.9 for patient experience. So it's like bedside manner, which is obviously the most commonly asked question when you're looking for a dentist. And then affordability. So great prices is important, especially when you're starting to maintain your dental care. And then it'll even show you the coolest thing, I think, is to estimate what the cost will be when this is all, again, for the DPPO Advantage dentist. So the dentist on the preferred side, we can predict how much the filling is going to cost, right? So it's showing filling, medium area, back tooth. It's going to be, you pay $59 and then we're going to pay the $37. Total cost is $97, right? So it's going to give you an estimate of what the cost of is it going to be to you. And that $59 is probably $59 because you haven't met the deductible yet. So you have to meet that first $50 of deductible. So this is, like, I think, really beneficial for your client to be able to not only find a dentist, read the reviews like Yelp, look at their professional history, their patient experience, bedside manner, and the affordability, and really estimate the cost of what these cavities or what the filling or what the deep cleaning is going to cost you with the Cigna DPPO dentist. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the enrollment process. So as you can see, the first thing you see on the Cigna for Brokers website is quote and enroll. On our website, you can create a streamlined experience for your clients. You can create a custom link that you can send to them to compare our dental plans and then enroll. As you can see, there's some arrows that highlight our documents and forms and to find a doctor or dentist. So when right on the homepage for Cigna for Brokers, you can click on find a doctor or dentist and check if somebody's dentist, their preferred dentist, is in the DPPO. And last is obviously our documents and forms. If you're trying to look at the summary of benefits or the evidence of coverage for a certain plan, you can take a look at that. The next thing is going to be the convenient billing and enrollment option. So there's a few different ways that you can pay. Your clients can set up ongoing payments through EFT, so electronic fund transfer, or they can do credit card payment. The auto draft will be on the 5th of every month. They can also sign up for e-bill to get a bill via email to pay. So I think a lot of people do that too. It's pretty popular. And your clients can elect for that on the MyCigna website. And last but not least, they can do the monthly paper bill. And there's no additional fee for getting paper bill. As I've mentioned, that plan is going to effectuate the very next day after they pay. So if your client enrolls in the Dental 1000 plan on the 31st, they're going to pay for it exactly then on the 31st, and the very next day it'll take effect. Now diving into our Cigna Dental enrollment discount. So you can see here that we offer a 15% discount for each additional family dependent on the plan. So if you're enrolling a family, every dependent that you add will have a 15% discount on their premium, which I think is pretty nice. You get a 10-day free look period for your clients. So if your clients change their mind within the first 10 days, we're going to refund everything and we'll cancel the enrollment into the plan. And the residency requirements, I think this is pretty obvious, but if you move, change your zip code on the dental plan, the rates do change based off of the state. Now, as a reminder, I just wanted to remind, and this is really important, because actually this standalone dental plan does really well for brokers that are also selling Medicare. So this plan can go for mom, for dad, for the kids, and it can go for, grandma and grandpa. If you enroll, let's say your children that are under 18 into the 1500 plan, you're going to want to do that off exchange, right? You're going to want to make sure you're doing everything, all of your sales, if you can, on Cigna for brokers. And the reason I say that is not only because the commissions are higher, um, but because the benefits, right? So the pediatric dental plan is different on exchange. The pediatric dental plan, the benefits are a little bit different. The deductible is different. The plans that we're talking about are the CignaForBrokers.com dental plans, these 3 dental plans. And if you want your clients want their kids to have the same coverage as you and have that one family deductible, they want to take a look at these plans instead of the pediatric plans, in my opinion. So that way it's just cleaner. You get one deductible. And these plans tend to have a little bit better benefits. Obviously, the braces is a unique benefit for kids. Last but not least is like the most popular plan. The most popular shopper on our plans is actually somebody that's over the age of 40. We have found that this plan pairs very well with maybe a Medicare Advantage shopper that's used to having a PPO dental plan. They're not happy with their DHMO plan that's built into their plan. They want extra benefits. So that if you have a Medicare book, you're going to want to take a look at these 3 plans because they pair well with that Advantage plan. The next slide is going to kind of go over the reinstatement policy that we have. So at Cigna, we will reinstate a policy for non-payment as long as there hasn't been a reinstatement within the last 6 months. So that's an important one. So if your client has forgot to pay, they got reinstated, we can't reinstate them twice within 6 months. That's number one. There is a 31-day grace period to make a payment after they effectuated the first time. So after, let's say it's a February 1st effective date, they have the month to get to pay their premium. If not, the plan will be terminated. So 31 days, typical 1 month kind of waiting period before termination. And there is a $50 reinstatement fee. California, North Carolina, and South Carolina are not subject to the reinstatement fee. So make sure that as soon as your clients enroll in this plan that they set up, if they can, ongoing payments so they don't forget to make a payment and they don't lapse on something. You don't want this to affect waiting periods, etc. So dependent age limitation. So we oblige to whatever the state requirements are on the dental dependent age limitation. So for most states, they're 26. If your dependent is the age of 30, it goes up to 30 in Florida, which is pretty unique. And I think in Illinois, it's 26, and then everywhere else, yes, it's 26. Everywhere else except Florida, it's 30. Disabled dependent. So this is a unique one. This is, again, dependent on the state. As long as the state says that this person qualifies as a dependent, then they'll be a dependent. Dental ID cards. So our ID cards are mailed within 7 to 10 business days of the policy being issued. If your client wants to see the dentist the very next day, or maybe not the next day, but within 3 days, they should have access to their My Cigna account. So if they want to print a temporary ID card, they can print it on their My Cigna account. So here's some examples of what your clients are going to get when they become a Cigna member. So the first thing is going to be a welcome email from us. And so you can see it goes from 1, 2, and 3. So the first email is going to be just a simple welcome, a reminder to create the My Cigna account, frequently asked questions. The next one is going to kind of go into the details about payment and how to bill online, how to print an ID card. And the last one is going to go into the preventative care benefits And maybe you can take a look and click on that Find a Dentist button on the top right. That's going to help somebody stay within that preferred side of the DPPO. So really our goal is to make sure that they create a My Cigna account and that they find a DPPO Advantage dentist if that's something that they'd like to do, instead of picking that out-of-network dentist. Either way, they can do whatever they want. Like I've said, you can go out of network, it doesn't matter. But if your client is looking to save some money and not get balance billed, take a look at our DPPO Advantage Network. Now, the next thing is going to be a little walkthrough of our Welcome to Cigna Dental My Cigna. So this is kind of a sneak peek of what the My Cigna account looks like. It's going to show your benefit maximum. So it's going to show diagnostic, preventative, basic, restorative, major, and restorative, the remaining amount you have, and your orthodontics. So this is for a $1,500 plan. It's what it takes. It looks like when you log into My Cigna and you click on coverage. So it really kind of explains the benefits for you as a member on the My Cigna account in a very easy way. And it'll explain all of the services. They can take a look at their summary of benefits. They can get an explanation on how co-insurance works. I find our My Cigna website very, very useful. And again, they can go onto the My Cigna account to set up their billing as well. So here's the cycle of an application. So within 24 hours, the initial payment is processed. The very next day, you're going to be a Cigna Dental member. Within 48 to 72 hours, you're going to have access to My Cigna's website or the app, whatever your client prefers, or both. Within 7 to 10 days, they're going to have their ID card in the mail. And then, if they have any questions, they can reach out to us at 1-800-CIGNA24. If they're like, hey, what's my policy number? Can you help me figure out where to get the ID card? If you're a busy broker, you can have them call us. And you can also handle it yourself if you're really, really handy on that My Cigna account. Now, our next slide, and a very important slide, is our commission slide. So here's a look at our commissions. The dental preventative plan has a 10% per month off of premium. So if the premium is $100, then it's 10% of that, which would be $10. Same thing for the dental 1,000 and 1,500 jumps up to 20% for new business in 2021. Our renewing is going to be at 10% per member per month. And lastly, I put in this little note just to remind everyone, you do get a premium discount of 15% for every dependent that you add, which I think a lot of families really like. Terminology. So this is the portion that if you're new to dental, this might be helpful to you. I'm going to go over some stuff that maybe are the most common asked, and I think that some of this intersects with medical. So if it intersects with medical, I probably won't dive into it, but things that are niche dental terms, I will dive into. So Cigna Dental waiting period. Let's talk about that. So there's a waiting period to get class 2 and class 3 services, right? So that's like a root canal would be class 3. So there's a 12-month waiting period for class 3. Now, your client won't have a waiting period to get those services done or to access those benefits, is a good way to think about it, if they submit proof of having coverage for a full year prior. And you can submit that proof as you submit their application. Non-participating providers, again, dental PPO, they can go wherever they want. Non-participating just means they're not within that preferred side. But if your client loves their dentist and they don't take insurance, they can still go to that dentist, no problem. They just have to submit the claims. Now, last but not least is going to be the calendar year max. That's the amount of money that we will spend out. Cigna will spend out per member. So for our 1,000 plan, our calendar year max is $1,000. The next slide is going to show our lifetime orthodontia deductible. So this is a deductible you meet one time. So it's a $50 deductible per individual. You have to pay $50 towards your braces or your Invisalign. And that's lifetime. So once you paid that $50 and you still have braces for 3 years, all of those services, you're not going to have to meet a deductible each time. Co-insurance is going to give you an example right here. So let's say co-insurance is Cigna pays 80% and the customer pays 20%. So if the bill is $200, we're going to pay 80% of that bill. So Cigna is going to pay $160 and the co-insurance would mean that the customer owes $40. Calendar year deductible means that this is the deductible that you have to meet once a year. So our calendar year deductible for medical for an individual is $50. Every year, your client has to meet that $50 deductible. The next slide is going to talk about the standard fee. So a standard fee is the most Cigna is going to pay a dentist for a covered service that's out of network. So our standard fee, let's say for a cavity would be, or a filling would be $100. So that's the most we're going to pay a dentist for that service. Actually billed charges. So this is the fee that a provider charges a patient who does not have dental insurance. So that's the actual bill. If a patient does have dental insurance and they're on the DPPO side, then those charges are going to be different because we have negotiated rates. Contracted fees. So Cigna, this is the most Cigna will pay a dentist for a covered service or procedure that's out of network. Okay. So it's going to talk about kind of like this is the contracted fee and the standard fee. It's pretty similar. So basically saying, again, this is the most that will pay an out of network dentist for a filling. The next slide is going to go into the missing tooth scenario, but we already talked about that, so I'm going to skip over it. And I'm going to go into the oral surgery instead. So we do not require referrals for a specialist. However, you do want to make sure that everything is going to be covered ahead of time. I highly recommend staying within that DPPO side for class 3 services like the oral surgery. So within regard to an oral surgery, anything outside of a simple extraction generally is going to fall into class 3. And there are waiting periods for these services. So you want to make sure that your clients met the waiting period or that your client has gotten approval from Cigna for these extra services like this extra surgery. Next slide is going to talk about coordination of benefits and balanced billing. So this is my favorite one to talk about, coordination of benefits. So if your client has 2 dental plans, let's say they're a Medicare client, and they already have a dental HMO built in, they can use both plans, even if they're both Cigna plans. We're not going to coordinate with the other carrier. We're going to just do whatever our plan design promised, right? So we're going to honor the plan design. Your client is paying the premium. We're going to pay, that 80% for class 2 or that 50% for class 3. We're not going to coordinate the benefit with, let's say, Humana if they also have a Humana dental plan. So if your client chooses to have 2 dental plans and use both with their dentist to get their bills covered, that's totally up to them. We're just going to continue to honor the services based off of what our summary of benefits offers. Now, balance billing. When an out-of-network provides a customer a bill, so that's a non-Cigna Dental Advantage dentist, we're going to pay either the maximum allowable, we're going to honor either the maximum allowable charge or the maximum reimbursable charge. So I think the example here is really clear. So for example, $100 to fill a cavity, and I constantly say $100 for a cavity because it's about accurate. If the maximum allowable charge is $50, so the maximum that we will allow to be charged is $50 for that service, and our coinsurance is 50%, then Cigna is going to pay 50% of the $50, which is $25. So the customer is then going to be balance billed $75. Now, if they stayed within the DPPO Advantage Network, it would have been much more advantageous because we would have had these rates negotiated and we would have paid, and the customer would probably have paid less. Now, it's going to go into the next slide. We'll actually talk about maximum allowable versus maximum reimbursable. So an example of a maximum reimbursable is going to be, again, the $100 to fill a cavity. The most the plan is going to pay is $80. That's going to be the most that we're going to reimburse to the member. So if the maximum reimbursable charge is $80 for the service, assuming that the calendar year deductible has been met, our coinsurance is 80%. We're going to pay 80% of that $80, okay? Now for the maximum allowable charge, if the maximum allowable charge that we accept for a bill, which is something we just talked about, that $100 and the $50 situation, if it's $60 is the allowable charge, that's the most that we're going to accept on the bill, we're going to honor our benefit of 80%. So we'll pay 80% of that $60, and the customer is going to have to pay the difference, right? So the customer will pay $12 and we'll pay $48. Now, a dentist will say, hey, you've only paid $60 towards the bill. The customer is then going to have to be balance billed that remaining $40 because we said the most that we pay is $60 towards the benefit. Therefore, we're going to pay $48. The customer is going to pay $12, and then they're going to probably be balance billed by the dentist the remaining $40 of the 60. Next slide. So this is a frequently asked questions section. We're almost wrapping up here, and I think I might be a little bit over, so I'm sorry. But I just want to make sure you guys know where to find your resources. So at cignaforbrokers.com on the top right, you're going to see documents and forms. If you click on that, it'll drop down a few more options. So it's going to show you as well under the Resource Center instructional materials. So you can click on documents and forms for the summary of benefits, plan designs. Now, instructional materials, you'll see little videos. So if you want to take a look and really kind of dive into some specific stuff on our dental, there's quick 10-minute videos on the broker portal under instructional materials. These are some frequently asked questions, but I think I did a pretty good job of getting into the details of balance billing. I talked about coordination of benefits. So we are not going to coordinate benefits. You can have multiple dental coverage plans, and we're going to still honor everything in our summary of benefits. And yes, a member can go to a dentist outside of their resident location because it's a PPO network. You can go anywhere. Since the plans, next slide, have the same coinsurance percentages in and out of network, does it really matter? Yes, 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 yes. Everybody sees these plan designs and they say, oh, well, the coverage is same in or out. No, because we don't allow the PPO Advantage dentist to balance bill. That's going to save some money for your clients, as we've shown with the breakouts on the braces and the class 3. It's thousands of dollars that can be saved for certain services. Can a customer have 2 different dental policies? Absolutely. What is not covered by this plan? So if you're looking into specifics, you can take a look at our limitations and exclusions in the summary of benefit documents. Here are some examples of limitations underneath. Next slide. How do dependents age out of a plan? So like I mentioned, Connecticut's unique. It's at 27. All other states are at 26. And Florida and Illinois are at age 30. So that's when a dependent would age out. And the last slide on the frequently asked questions is, can a customer change their plan selection after they enroll? For example, can I get the 1500 plan and then switch to the 1000 plan after a few months? Plan changes can only be requested at the time of a plan's anniversary. This one's important. So at renewal, they can switch their plans. Plan change requests can be made over the phone, or you can talk to obviously Carrie at O'Neill or anybody at O'Neill, and they'll help process that change request. What if I need to change my effective date? Effective date change can happen. You can call our customer service, or you can go ahead and reach out to your agency, and we can get those effective date changes processed. Can I add dependents to or remove from my plan? Yes, you can definitely add dependents or remove dependents throughout the year. As long as they meet eligibility to be a dependent, you can add or remove as you see fit. All righty, guys. I tried to wrap it up and respect your time. I'm 2 minutes over. I wanted to say thank you so much on behalf of Cigna. Thanks so much to O'Neill for putting this training on. I hope that this information was really helpful to you. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And I'm happy to answer any questions. So just don't hesitate to shoot us a note. Thanks again so much, O'Neill. I really appreciate your partnership, and we're super excited to continue to grow in 2022.